Short story number 9. Everybody knows that the narrator and Betsy met Lautes, but only few people know that in the beginning they had no idea who he was. At first, he used a fake name to introduce himself. After that, they talked about business and so on, and he asked the narrator if she could keep a secret, and he said that he was Lautes. The narrator had no idea who he was, so she told Betsy, and after that they went up and asked the librarian a few questions. They found out that her new friend was probably the world's best living painter. The librarian found a book with his biography and a photograph. The book said that Lautes suddenly stopped painting, and he had not painted for a dozen years. Well, they became real friends, and Betsy invited him to come to their place for a weekend. Lautes arrived at Saturday, and the narrator met him at the station. They promised him that they won't talk about art. It was difficult because they were not keen on art. So next morning, the narrator realized that she has a job to do. The fence in her garden was needed to be painted, so he started to paint it. After some time, she heard footsteps. It was Lautes, and he decided to show her how to paint the fence. And he spent 3 hours doing it. In the evening, he went to the station, and he said that he hadn't enjoyed himself so much for years. Newspapers learned about his visit and about the fence too. People wanted to buy the fence for a lot of money, but the narrator refused. Some days later, the sculptor, one of the Lautes' friend, advises her to allow to one of the museums to exhibit this fence for a few weeks. And he agreed. It turned out that Lautes visited this museum, and he signed all the sections of her fence. 29 sections were sold for 29 sections were sold, and the price was $10,000 for each section. But the narrator didn't want to sold the last one. She decided to save it in her living room. This is the end of the story.